What is up, guys? EJ here, back with another video, and today it's going to be my Blu-ray DVD collection for 2020, Action Part 2. Yeah, yesterday I said collection for 2012, so apologies if you caught that. Obviously this is for 2020. So yeah, let's do Part 2 of the action section. So I ended with the L's last time, so starting off with the M's basically. We have El Mariachi, Robert Rodriguez's film from 1993. Up next we have the remake / sequel with Antonio Banderas and Salma Hayek, Desperado from 1995, terrific film. And we have Once Upon a Time in Mexico from 2003, I believe. Really good performance by Johnny Depp in this movie that I liked a lot. Alright, up next we have Steven Seagal classic from 1990, Marked for Death. Up next we have The Matador from 2007, I believe, something like that. With Pierce Brosnan, Greg Kinnear, and Hope Davis. I've always liked Hope Davis as an actress. I wonder what happened to her, because I liked her a lot in like the late 90s, early 2000s. I thought she was a good actress. Alright, moving on, we have Money Train from 1995 with Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson, of course, teaming up again after their success in White Man Can't Jump. J-Lo, of course, in this film as well. Not as good as White Man Can't Jump, but still a decent movie. Up next we have Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Fantastic, great action movie starring Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Always liked that film. Get that back in there. Alright, up next we have The Negotiator from 1998. Terrific film about hostage negotiators. Samuel L. Jackson, Kevin Spacey. Really well-made film. Set in Chicago. Great supporting cast as well. Up next we have No Escape with Owen Wilson, Lake Bell, and Pierce Brosnan. Yeah, good film set in like Cambodia, Vietnam. About a family sort of caught up in a terrorist takeover at a hotel, and they have to escape. Yeah, good little movie, that one. Up next we have Olympus Has Fallen. I want to say from like 2015, with Gerard Butler, Aaron Eckhart as the president, and Morgan Freeman. Yeah, good action scenes. Of course, they made a couple sequels now. We have London Has Fallen. With same cast. Yeah, good film. Angela Bassett in this one. Yeah, I like this movie as well. And I also what was the recent one from last year? Something has fallen. Obviously, I forgot what the name of it was. It was his code name, Gerard Butler's. He gets set up basically in the third one. I'll be getting that one, but on Blu-ray as well, but I completely forgot the title of it now. Alright, moving on, we have On Deadly Ground from 1994. Steven Seagal directed this film, and of course stars in it along with Michael Caine. Film set in Alaska. Up next we have another Seagal classic from 1991, Out for Justice. Okay. Up next we have Patriots Day with Mark Wahlberg. Filmed by Peter Berg. Yeah, terrific movie about the Boston Marathon bombing. Yeah, this and the oil rig movie he made the same year. Both really good films. Up next we have Peppermint with Jennifer Garner from just a couple years ago. Yeah, I liked her a lot. Sort of a revenge family story. Up next we have Point Break, 1990 classic, of course, with Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze, Gary Busey, Lori Petty. Yeah, terrific film. Didn't like the remake. Okay, up next we have the Predator films, 1987, The Predator, of course, or just Predator with, gotta be specific with the titles now that we have other Predator films. But the original from 1987 with Arnold is just absolute classic, one of his best, one of my favorites. Predator 2 from 1990 with Danny Glover and Gary Busey. Yeah, good film set in LA. Not as good as the first one, but still decent. Predators with Adrian Brody from 2010, 2011. Good film. I liked it. I enjoyed it. And I did like The Predator as well from 2018. I enjoyed this film a lot. I liked Olivia Munn in it, and I thought the cast was just overall very enjoyable together. Good action scenes. There was just something about it that I enjoyed. Alright, up next we have Leon, the Professional. 1994 Luc Besson classic, of course, with Jean Reno, young Natalie Portman, and Gary Oldman chewing up the scenery as usual. Up next, The Punisher from 1989, Dolph Lundgren, Louis Gossett Jr. I've always wondered, should I just move this into my superhero section, since Punisher is basically comic book films. The Punisher from I think 2005 with Thomas Jane and John Travolta. Decent film. Didn't care for Punisher Warzone. That's why I don't have that. Alright guys, moving on to my Rambo films. We have my Ultimate Edition 3-disc collector set. First Blood from 1982, absolute classic with Sylvester Stallone. Just a fantastic movie. Really enjoyed the sequel, Rambo First Blood Part 2 from 1985. And Rambo 3, not as good as the first two. And then we have Rambo, the fourth one, from 2009. Yeah, very violent. Really wasn't a huge fan of this. And the recent one, Rambo Last Blood, from last year, I watched recently. I like parts of that film. I like the ending of that film, but how they got to sort of the conflict in that movie, I didn't love. Like the first half of the recent Rambo film, but it is what it is. Alright, moving on, we have Raw Deal, another Schwarzenegger classic from 1985 or 86, something like that. Another Arnold film, Red Heat, from 1988, I believe, with James Belushi, set in Russia. The Replacement Killers from 1997, decent film with Chow Yun-fat and Mira Sorvino. Remember when she had a moment back in the mid to late 90s after her Mighty Aphrodite breakthrough. She was in a bunch of films like this and The Relic, I believe, Romy and Michelle, that kind of stuff. Alright, up next we have Roadhouse, another Patrick Swayze classic from 1990, of course. Up next we have Ronin from 1998. Yeah, really good film, great car chase sequences. Robert De Niro, Jean Reno, Sean Bean, Jonathan Pryce, Stellan Skarsgård. Really good flick, set in France. Up next we have Run Lola Run with Franco Potente from 1999. Sort of a real-time movie. Yeah, and then she went on to star in the first Bourne Identity film. Wonder whatever happened to her. Alright, up next we have the Rush Hour trilogy. The first one from 1998. Terrific fun with Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker, of course. Like that film a lot. Rush Hour 2 from 2001. Okay, not great from what I remember. And Rush Hour 3, less said about that one the better. I don't know what happened to Chris Tucker, but he ended up looking weird in his later years since those films. Alright, up next we have SWAT from 2004. Yeah, decent film about LA SWAT team with Colin Farrell, Samuel L. Jackson, Michelle Rodriguez, LL Cool J. About good cops going bad. Very, very poignant these days. Alright, up next we have Shanghai Nights. I think from 2003 with Jackie Chan and Owen Wilson. Yeah, the follow-up to Shanghai Noon, which is in my Western section. Good fun, these movies. Not great. Up next we have Shoot 'Em Up from 2005. Yeah, crazy, really fun action movie with Clive Owen, Paul Giamatti, and Monica Bellucci. Of course, when anything with Monica Bellucci is just better. Even the Matrix sequels. Alright, moving on, we have Shooter from 2007, starring Mark Wahlberg, sort of a sniper type movie. Decent film from what I remember. Up next we have The Siege, directed by Edward Zwick, I believe, starring Denzel Washington, Annette Bening, and Bruce Willis. Yeah, really timely film from 1998 about terrorism in New York, basically. Up next we have Silver Streak from 1976 with Gene Wilder, Richard Pryor, and Jill Clayburgh. Up next we have Skyscraper from 2018 with Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. Yeah, really fun film. I liked it a lot. About a guy trying to save his family from a sort of high-rise, sort of like Die Hard in a way. Up next we have Smokey and the Bandit with Burt Reynolds special edition from 1977. Up next we have Smokin' Aces from, when the hell did this come out? 2006, I believe, something like that. Yeah, really fun film, fun cast, people like Ben Affleck, Ryan Reynolds, Alicia Keys, Andy Garcia, Common, Jason Bateman, Jeremy Piven. Good fun movie, that one. Alright, up next we have, as I just go ahead and throw that on the ground, we have The Specialist from 1993 with Sylvester Stallone, Sharon Stone, and James Woods. Up next we have Speed, absolute classic from 1994, of course, with Keanu Reeves, Sandra Bullock, and Dennis Hopper. Great villain in that movie. Yeah, just a great film. Sudden Death from 1995. Jean-Claude Van Damme taking on Powers Booth and guys who take over NHL Arena. Big fan of hockey, and the setting is great, and the action scenes are really good. Surprisingly sort of violent at the beginning, which I liked about this film. Everybody just gets taken out at the beginning. It's kind of great. And then Jean-Claude is I think he's a fire marshal or something who works at the arena, has to take on the bad guys in that flick, but good fun flick. Let's put that back where it belongs. Alright, moving on down to the end here, we have Surviving the Game from 1994. Yeah, really great fun movie with Ice-T, Rutger Hauer, Gary Busey, F. Murray Abraham, I believe Charles S. Dutton. Really good film, similar to Hard Target. Okay. Next we have Taffin from 1987 with Pierce Brosnan, Alison Doody. Yeah, good Irish action movie right there. Up next we have Toy Soldiers from 1991. Absolutely love this film with Sean Astin, Louis Gossett Jr. Sort of reform school boys taking on Colombian terrorists. Yeah, Will Wheaton, Keith Coogan, Denholm Elliott plays the headmaster. Really good film. Really enjoyed that movie. Up next we have the Transporter films with Jason Statham. The first one from 2002, I believe. As my voice goes right there. Transporter 2, not as good as the first. And Transporter 3. Yeah, I enjoyed the Transporter films for the most part. Alright, up next we have Under Siege, 1992. My favorite Steven Seagal film, I think, by far. Absolute classic. Tommy Lee Jones and Gary Busey, great as the villains. Erica Eleniak, former Baywatch star, popping out of the cake. Always memorable when you're watching that as a 14-year-old boy when that came out. Alright, up next we have Under Siege 2, Dark Territory. Really good sequel. Eric Bogosian is the villain. Of course, takes place on the train. Young Katherine Heigl playing his niece, Morris Chestnut. Really enjoy that film as well. As I try and keep things together here. Walking Tall from 2004, I believe, with The Rock. Yeah, good film about, and Johnny Knoxville, I remember, yeah, in this as well. Guy returns home, finds his town sort of taken over by a gang of white-collar thugs, if you like. Alright, moving on, we have Wanted from 2007. Yeah, really fun action movie with Angelina Jolie and James McAvoy. Good effects. Yeah, just a real fun film from what I remember. And last but not least, for the action section, we have White House Down. Came out the same year as Olympus Has Fallen. Angel Has Fallen. That's the name of the sequel, the third movie in that trilogy that I couldn't think of earlier. But yeah, this one with Channing Tatum and Jamie Foxx. Enjoyed this one a little bit more than Olympus Has Fallen, even though that franchise spawned two sequels. But there you have it. So that is part 2 of my action section. Up next will be part 1 of adventure. I'll probably, yeah, split that up into 2 parts. I believe I said I'd do this. I try and do 1 genre a day. I just can't make more than 1 video a day. That's kind of impossible for me with my work schedule. So 1 video a day I will try and keep up with. That's why you'll get these 1 a day. So yeah, adventure part 1 will be tomorrow. Thank you for watching as always, and until next time, I'll see you.
James Bond.